New Bunnings, new school, new hospital, new zoning. How does that affect the value of your property? Stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Burgio Mark Novak, episode 1561. French's Forest, the boom, the new Bunnings, new school, new zoning. A lot of changes happening. And what does it all mean for the lovely suburb of French's Forest?
It's big. It's
a lot
big.
of changes.
Billions and billions and billions of dollars of infrastructure, and
Private
people still
money
complain.
and government money.
And people still complain.
Oh, of course.
So every time we post something about this, the haters are going to hate. The traffic gets spoken about, but now we work on the traffic after all this. This is the idea. So you build, and they will come, and then they will fix the traffic. But it's the first thing people got to say. So instead of saying "hooray" or "this is so good," the hospital, or this is great, I'm like traffic. But they're going to fix it. I'm sure it'll get fixed, and there is issues around traffic, and there's always teething stuff whenever infrastructure goes in place years past, and they fix it. So stop hating.
Yeah, and like I had this conversation when we were doing the barbecue at a new development. Is the client's instant reaction was to just hate on the developer. And I sort of said, well, I think it's more council should be working out the traffic and let the builders build and let council worry about the roads. That's my understanding of the responsibility. And it's one of those things where you can't be anti-development but then still be for development, or for development, for affordability, or have it legal to develop. You can't be anti it and then try and constrict the developments, because what happens is you have developers trying to squeeze every square meter for habitable space within the height limit. And it's not a big. I've always just said, well, if you said to a developer, we'll give you one extra floor level, but you need to give back your ground level for free parking for residents, extra parking. Because we all know these days, most developments have one car space and most households need 2 or 3. So one's never going to cut it. It pushes people to the street. But the reality, like we're doing one close to Manly Vale area, and don't get me wrong, they would have dug deeper, added more parking spaces if they could have, but council just wouldn't work with them to make it happen. They would have got rid of the ground floor for parking and gone one extra height. So I think everyone's quick to whinge about the builder, about the companies coming in. But moving past all that, because we could talk about it for a long time, I think what's happening in French's Forest is very similar about DY. When Meriton was being built, everyone talked pretty down to it.
And then big time.
Everyone also, people whinged about the parking as well and the traffic. But I think with DY, there was already such a big population. There was already 10,000 dwellings, and there was only 600 added with a couple big developments. So it wasn't the biggest increase. But however, when it came to the new big companies coming in there, like your Woolworths, like your medical centres, all the big private money, people, once they moved into the area, they actually love the facilities. And I can sort of see the same thing happening in French's Forest, where you've got new schools, new hospital, new Bunnings, and there's a lot of companies that follow Bunnings around it, which will start to open up as well.
Michael, where do you live?
Belrose, 10 minutes from there.
That's next to French's Forest?
Yeah.
How do you spell French's Forest?
I think there's an E. Let me have a look.
Okay, we're real estate agents. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Under your
FR.
nose. But yeah, the big thing that got me was the builder when we're doing our barbecue
No,
open
no.
house.
FRENCHS.
Well, guess what? I've been getting it wrong for 1 year. Make it 30 years. Make it 30 years. How about that? But
Yeah.
the
Wasn't
thing
me
that got
for
me, hey,
Wasn't me misspelling for
you
once.
got it. I actually makes me look bad because there's about 400 posts that are wrong. Um, But get this, I met the builder from across the road where the brand new hospital, brand new school's being built. So there's a brand new school, there's a brand new hospital, which is a $4 billion facility over a 5 year period. There's a $300 million road upgrade. There's new zoning. A lot's happened in the area, right? And I'm an agent, and the builder came from across the road. And he's like, yeah, mate, this is. He's telling me all the numbers on the school. And I said, what do you do? In terms of building, do you just like, all buildings, some building? He goes, mate, just schools, just schools. And I said, where? He goes, all around New South Wales. And I went, wow. And he goes, yeah. He goes, we've got people that follow us around New South Wales building school that buy property around us. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, just mum and dad investors buy like people. He goes, they buy wherever we build a school. And I said, and he goes, the suburbs do really, really well. And I was like, of course they do. That's so logical. So
Yep.
I think, when you've got this incredible infrastructure, um, it's not just the fact that there's being this stuff built in the area, but why is it being built in the area? Where's the motivation coming from? It's bigger than, hey, here's a new Bunnings or hey, here's a new school. It goes way behind that. It's the thought process behind that. Why are you doing this? And it's because it's a really good suburb. It's because it's central to everything in the Northern Beaches. It's because there's necessity for it.
I was just thinking of Bunnings, how they would have engaged a consultate like a company to do like a report on where they should open up, like, and just spent 50 grand on this report, and they just
Well, I
get
think,
a
yeah.
report back saying it's a good suburb.
It is really good.
It's a good suburb. But you are right. Like, one, it comes down to where can you get that land holdings for commercial property? There's not many areas on the northern beaches that could get them 10,000 square meters of floor area. Then you chuck in, all right, we don't want to cause traffic jams basically everywhere. Like, most people have, if you go to McDonald's, Brookvale around 3 o'clock when it's end of work, it's I can imagine that turns off a lot of customers because it's
Yeah,
known for backing up.
yeah,
So Bunnings, the consultants would know that. So where can you get 10,000 square meters? Where can you get it close to basically a major highway?
yeah.
And then on the back of an area that has a higher population. So it ticks so many boxes where it would be able to be absorbed by the local community to not have such a big detrimental impact, but also enough people there to bring business and and bring in some money for that company as well. So I think you're right. It's not like they just close their eyes and put their finger on a map. And for councils to approve it as well, there's all the traffic engineering reports where it's like, okay, how many, and a lot of people don't realize this, that goes into the approval of a
Oh,
big company, of a big property like that, where they're
yeah,
like, well, how many people come into the Bunnings? What time do they come in? How many, and then there'll be traffic engineering reports to see if the roads can assess it. And I can tell you from living up that way, since the roads were redone for the hospital, 10 years overdue, but redone, the traffic has been a lot better. It used to be every morning backing up from the KFC to the McDonald's going into
right.
the city. And now it's maybe once a fortnight, once a week. It backs up really badly. And most days are a good run in.
And look, I think that haters going to hate, like rightly said when you talked about Meriton in DY, 360 units went in, people lost their mind. It was like, you wait and see what this is going to do to DY. You wait and see what this is going to do to traffic. How good's DY been with parking's been better, traffic's been better. The Beeline bus came in place. Like it actually, you know, there was a lot of like, oh shit, you could be right. We could be stuffed when the building gets built. But quite the opposite with the reality. And I've got a funny feeling that when all this infrastructure opens, we're going to be okay. And then I think if we're not, it'll get fixed pretty quick.
Yeah, but Meriton's a really good example of where they gave them extra height. Like, have you ever needed to really find a park in DY? You just park in Meriton. Obviously, you try the street, and if it's not there, you park into Meriton because you've got 3 hours free. So you never had that before. They replaced. Like I know
Yeah.
Meriton built on a car park, but it was always full. There weren't that much parking, and it wasn't as accessible. So even though they put in 300 plus units, there's more parking now, and it's almost easier
Always
to get
find a
around.
park. You'll always find a park in there. And I think with this new Bunnings going in, like there's a massive amount of parking going in there as well. It's going to be okay. But no, I think, look, we're real estate agents, we're always going to force something down your throat and try to sell you something. And the reality is that I think if you can be purchasing a house, a warehouse, a storage unit around all this infrastructure that's gone in, you're a winner.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that the local area has identified is that I think there's a local rule where it's like they need an extra 10,000 dwellings a year. I think it's something like that for the northern beaches. They never hit the mark, but they're supposed to be putting in 10,000 dwellings a year, and they've really located suburbs like French's Forest that they can get a lot of dwellings because it's not as built out. It's got the freeways.
In
I'd
in
love
every
Wakefield
in
Parkway to
every
be fixed.
in every direction it goes pew, and
Yeah.
like all the highways branch off it. It's pretty clever.
Living in Belrose, I say we're close to nowhere, but we're 10 minutes to everywhere.
It's true. It's well said.
Every direction. Anyway,
So that's the show. French's Forest, boom, new Bunnings, new schools, new hospitals, new zoning. I'm very embarrassed because I've been spelling French's Forest wrong for a very long time. And have a lovely day.
I just saw your post with the E.
See you, legend. Cheers.
See you, everyone.
Bye.